George Washington University wants to ensure that its student body goes through sensitivity training, especially when it comes to the LGBT community. However, there's one organization within the university that disagrees with this. It's the Young America's Foundation. And they believe that it's absolutely ridiculous for them to have to go through sensitivity training when it comes to gay people. In fact, gay people should have to go through sensitivity training when it comes to religious people. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with them.
Let me allow them to make their case. They said the way that people who are deeply Christian behave is for a reason, and if you're training them to change that behavior, there's obviously a problem with that.
Okay, so I agree, because we should have everybody in the campuses get sensitivity training from Muslims. Now, because they say respect our Christian beliefs, you need to be trained to respect them. Well, so it's good for Muslims, good for, of course, all the religions, right? That's what our Constitution is based on. So now we'll have to have sensitivity training so that women do not offend Muslims by dressing inappropriately in college. So from now on, Muslims get to dictate what dress women can wear, headscarves, maybe burqa, depending on the situation. I mean, you good Christians would agree, right? You think we should all be trained to be sensitive to your beliefs, so I'm positive that you would agree that we should do likewise for Muslim beliefs. And you'll also be told where you can eat bacon and where you can't eat bacon, and all different, and where you can draw cartoons and what kind of cartoons you can draw and what kind you can't. Hey, you gotta have sensitivity training for religious groups, right?
It's just interesting because it kind of shows you how some religious people, Christians in general, okay, can't see outside of their own religion. To them, their religion is the dominant religion and everything else doesn't matter. So when they talk about sensitivity training toward religious people, they're just specifically talking about Christians. They don't care about anyone else, right? And so here's the thing. You are on a college campus. You are going to deal with gay people, and as a result, you do need to go through sensitivity training, because you shouldn't treat your peers like shit because somehow your religion allows it, okay? Their argument is so ridiculous. Here's more of what they had to say. Why is there not sensitivity training for gay and liberal groups to respect the free speech rights of other groups on campus? Why has the student association not considered similar training to teach students to respect those who believe in traditional marriage? The hateful atmosphere that currently exists at the George Washington University will remain as long as the university allows liberal bullies to intimidate and attack students or clubs that dare to express opinions different from their own. Here's the thing, if you dislike gay people, right, it is your right to dislike them. No one's gonna tell you, oh, you have to like gay people. But when you're on a college campus, you can't go out of your way to discriminate against them or hate them or act like the little bigot that you are. It's unfortunate. You look, your speech is protected, right? And yeah, they're forced to go through sensitivity training, but at the end of the day, you're allowed to say what you want to say. No one can tell you, no, you can't say that.
Now, okay, having said all this, this story is not perfectly clear-cut, because I will actually go against some of the groups attacking Young America's Foundation. Now, they say that they should be classified as a hate group. I think that goes too far. I get the logic behind it. They're saying, hey, look, these guys want to systematically discriminate against certain Americans. It happens to be gay Americans in this case. We wouldn't allow it if they discriminated against anybody else. We would call them a hate group. I get that logic, but I think it goes too far, because then you would have to characterize almost all the religious people in the country, Christian, Muslims, whatever it might be, as hate groups. And I don't think we're prepared to do that. So I think it's a bridge too far. But let me give you a quote from the Facebook page of the College Fix that I think goes way too far. They say, referring to Young America's Foundation, and their refusal to use preferred gender pronouns should be considered an act of violence and a violation of the non-discrimination clause required in all GW student organizations' constitutions. 10-2. Bring it down. Bring it down. You're at a 10. It's not an act of violence if you use the wrong gender pronoun. No, it's not.
It's just, it's an act of ignorance.
It's an act of ignorance. It's an act we totally disagree with and fight against on a daily basis. Not an act of violence. You're needlessly driving people away with that language. You had them on your side, they seem like little pricks, right? And then you lose people when you say their speech is an act of violence against me. No, it's not. It's speech. It should be allowed. Now, last thing on this that's important is, if you want a religious exemption, which doesn't make any sense because you're a political group, not a religious group.
Right.
But first of all, kick out everybody who doesn't agree with your religion there, not just Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, Hindus, but also kick out people who are not the right strand of Christianity. Make a decision. Are you Protestant? Are you Catholic? Are you Lutheran? Are you Methodist? And then kick everybody else out. Then you're a religious group. You get your religious exemption. But when you do, you also, according to the rules of this school, lose your funding from the school. If you're prepared to lose your funding and you're prepared to kick out everybody that isn't your religion, then have at it, Haas. You'll get the exemption and you won't have to go through sensitivity training, which just tells you how to be a decent human being without being horribly rude to others.
It's amazing how much controversy stems out of something as simple as respect your peers.
Yeah.
I mean, people start throwing feces on the wall like as soon as they hear stuff like
How dare you tell me to respect my peers?
It's so absurd. Anyway.
It's classic right-wing reaction.